Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of We the Ones podcast. I'm your host, Big TD. My co-host, a great brother of mine, Mr. We Promotes himself, T-Bone. T-Bone, what's going on?
What's up?
Not much, man. I'm good. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, and leave us a comment. We appreciate all feedback and support. T-Bone, it's been a wild weekend. The NBA playoffs kicked off Saturday. Man, did you watch all the games?
I watched six of them.
Yeah, I watched pretty much all of them, if not watched like the highlights, but most of them I was watching live anyway and just keeping up with them. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off talking about the Pacers. The Pacers defeat the Bucks 117-98. Me personally, I just really feel like Giannis is out there running a one-man band. Guys like Kuzma played like 22 minutes, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 points. I mean, you got to think about it. People out here getting cardio. I mean, they gotta worry about getting cardio.
Great treadmill action, baby. Straight treadmill.
They get it during the season. This the wrong time though. But all jokes aside, like for that, the work for them to do what they need to do. I mean, those role players got to play their part because that's what Giannis needs right now. I know Dave's supposed to come back. I think next game or game 3, something like that. Okay. But they got to, play their part because if not, then it's gonna be first round exit. What's your take on that game?
On the game itself, I'm agreeing with you, man. One man band from Giannis. Role players do gotta play better. Everybody know that role players usually play better at home. Then they're supposed to be getting Dame back. It gotta be a big boost too. So game 3, it's like a make or break game because I don't think they're winning game 2. If they win game 3 at home, I think that'd be good to set up and win game 4 and then make it tied going back to Indiana for game 5. So I think game 3 is the real big game to watch. And game 3, I believe it's Friday, right?
Friday. Yeah, they play tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they'll play
game 3, Friday, 8:00 game on East Coast, 5:00 on the West Coast. So it'll be a big game to watch. I think that's the game that's going to really dictate the outcome of this series. If Milwaukee can squeeze out game 3 and 4, if they squeeze out game 3, I think they'll take game 4, and then you got a 2-2 series going into game 5. Anything can happen at that point. It's best out of 3.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Dame can actually make it back in time, and he is the Dame that we know of the past, in the playoffs. Because I mean, if not, I mean, you got that young Pacer team. They love to run the floor. Real fast pace, real good coach team. So I mean, the Bucks better pick it up, man. That's all I got to say. My series prediction, I'm going with the Pacers, man. Pacers in 5.
Oh, so you don't think they're gonna do nothing, then, do you?
I mean, it's just that's just my prediction. I'm like I said, I love the young team, so that's really what I'm going with for right now. But hey, I could be wrong. Could prove me wrong. I want them to prove me wrong, but hey, I'm just rocking with the young boys, man.
I'm gonna play slightly aggressive, man. Even though I know they down and they probably still gonna go. They probably gonna lose again. Next game, I like Bucks at 7. I like
Bucks and 7. Okay, Bucks and 7. So you think that series that series is going 7 games? I don't think so.
I think after game 3, I feel super confident or super bashful about my prediction. Like if Bucks win game 3, and we at least got a 2-1 and possibly even a 1-2, they could win game 2. You never know. But if they can win game 3, I think that's going to be the game that's going to determine the outcome of the series.
You sticking beside the boys because I remember you said that was your sleeper team. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. Next game is one of my favorites. The Nuggets defeat the Clippers in overtime, 112-110. My take on this series is you got 2 really kind of evenly matched teams because, I mean, of course, you got Jokic. You got Jamal Murray. You got Westbrook coming off the bench. You got Christian Braun, who's been playing well all season. But the Clippers, like I said, the Clippers are no slippery slope at all. They got Zubac. Zubac been playing well. I mean, Jokic is gonna do him, but Zubac is one of the underrated big man in the league right now. So you got Kawhi. Kawhi's gonna be Kawhi of what he's always been. Kawhi, James Harden's playing really well. I mean, and he's not the Rockets James Harden, but I mean he's been playing pretty well from what I've seen. This right here has been my favorite series or favorite game one to watch so far, just because of the competitiveness, the way the game's just been moving. Players making big shots like James Harden sent the game into overtime, even though the Nuggets won. The main thing for me is going to be like I said, the role players. Role players are always the deal breaker in these series. I mean, your star players, most of the star players are going to show up. Joker's going to do him. It's just really what Jamal Murray and the Michael Porters and Russell Westbrook is going to do.
Your sentiment again, jumping on the role players. That's exactly why I like the Clippers in 6. I don't care that they down the game. I like the Clippers in 6, and I'm gonna tell you why. You got Zubac. He holding his own against Jokers. Nobody can stop the Jokers, but you can match him or try to mitigate him just a little bit. Zubac doing a good job of that. You look at the rest of the lineup. I'm taking James over Murray. I'm taking Kawhi over Porter Jr. I mean, they got Westbrook coming off the bench, but I mean, the Clippers got Norman Powell and a boatload of other talent off the bench. Like they gonna steal the game tonight, I think. Then after they steal the game tonight, hey, they may let one more slip, or they might let the Nuggets win at home. After that, it's smooth sailing.
Really, I hadn't really said who I think. I actually think the Clippers may pull it out. But what I'm saying is all depending on the role player. Like Norman Powell, if you remember, Norman Powell was like averaging like 20 during yeah. So I mean, I think he got hurt or something like that. That's what kind of slowed his play down. But it's all depending on what those role players gonna do. Zubac's been better. Like I said, Zubac's been playing well. So my series prediction, you said Clippers in 6. I'm gonna go Clippers in 7. I think this is the series I think is going 7 games, just because I mean both teams are going to fight. The only thing I think the Nuggets are going to really kind of lack is the coaching. Like I said, the coaching, just because I mean that having that voice in that locker room, you got veteran presence on there as far as players, but there's the coaching. I mean, I feel like they just may get out coached. So
yeah, I think too. Like again, we both on the Clippers. The analytics don't even support this being coached for real. Like over the past 10, 15 games, Clippers have been one of the best, if not the best team in the NBA. Like they've been on a heater. So they let one fall. They lost by 2 points in overtime, and they pretty much had the lead 75-80% of the game. So it is what it is. Like. We on the Clippers though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely with Clippers in 7. Clippers in 7, man. All right. On to the next game. The Knicks defeat the Detroit Pistons 123-112. This game right here was one of my favorite ones. Of course, I said that Detroit was my sleeper team. I think Detroit's going to steal maybe another game, but I feel like the Knicks are just too much for them because they're still a young team. The Knicks may be just too much. If you watch the game, they kind of hung with New York until like the end of third quarter, and then they just went like a 21-0 run. So
that was crazy.
That was insane. So like when a team does that, I mean, you just got to tip the hat off to them. I mean, they're playing at home. It's hard to play at Madison Square Garden. So, I mean, my series prediction probably would be Knicks in 5.
I agree, Knicks in 5. I think the Pistons are going to steal a game. I think it's going to be tonight. Well, I don't know. Like I kind of like the Knicks at 6 too, because I do think the Pistons are tough. If Malik Beasley get hot, he's very underrated. One of the best snipers in the NBA. Then you got Cade Cunningham. He can go toe to toe with Brunson, but after that, it's kind of like can't nobody can hold Cat for real on their squad. And he the X factor in my opinion. Michael, he gonna do what he gonna do. But yeah, I like the Knicks 2 and 5 or 6. I'm a little toss up. If I had to say, I would say 5 just because they usually like to close series out at home. They're really one of those teams who play well at home. And on the road they play a little suspect. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to 6 games either.
I mean, because the Knicks, they gonna give it that one game. I kid you not. They're gonna give it one game. I'm just telling you.
I think it's gonna be tonight.
It could be. They're gonna give it up. That's just who they are. So I mean, that's expected of them. But of course, I'm with you. Knicks in 5 or 6.
Yeah, if I had to say, I'll say 6 because Knicks give up a game and then the Pistons actually win a game. So I'll say Knicks in 6.
Absolutely. On to the next game. This was a shocker, actually, to me. The Timberwolves defeat the Lakers 117-95. I watched this whole game because this is one of the interesting ones because of all the talk. Luka, LeBron, Anthony Edwards saying he's not afraid of them. And the Wolves, man, they ball, man. They just ball. It's going to be interesting to watch because I said this once before. The Lakers lack in defense. The players that can score for them can't play defense. The players that can play defense can't score. So it's kind of like you're going to lack in, that one thing that you may need in the playoffs. So those players like Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes, they're going to have to, get in the scoring column and help LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves. Luka, he's not never really going to ever play no lockdown defense, but he's just going to have to be better. Austin Reeves is going to be better. LeBron's going to, do his part, whatever he needs to do to impact the game. Whether it's, he need to score 30 points, he'll score 30 points. Whether he need to get 15, 16 rebounds, he'll get that. 12 assists, he'll get that. We've seen it all before. So it's all negating on how they can affect the Wolves. Ant-Man's going to be Ant-Man, but how are you going to stop Gobert? You got Naz Reid coming off the bench scoring 17, in the first half. So you got to be able to stop that. And that's Timberwolves. They're a big team. They real big in size. So I don't know what you think, T.
Man, shout out Ant-Man, shout out Naz Reid. The boys won't fuck around. Ant, even though Ant didn't play the best on the stat sheet, he passed the eye test. He was making all the right passes. He was making the good switches on defense. Because this is one of the game I watched until my eyes started getting heavy. Once I saw the score, I said, yeah, it's over with. He was making the right pass. And then you had guys like Naz Reid sniping from deep. Even Drew Randall, he was hitting him a couple shots. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them, man. I did think they were going to win. I bet on them to win. I'd be lying if I said I thought they was going to win by 20. They played a hell of a game. I believe they shot a record number of threes for the season or something like that. And it's are they going to do that again? Probably not. But can they still win another couple of games? Yeah. And I think still in the first one, it's going to help them from a mental perspective because they have the physical team and the skill set to win this series. But I think that the cautiousness was mentally. And I think now that they have that first win, they're probably like, hey, we up. As a road team coming into the playoffs, you have to steal one game on the road to win. And they took that first. So it's a 50-50 series now. Definitely a coin flip.
The one thing you don't want is a young team like that to get some momentum. Just because, they're going to be like a freight train, Like I said, Luka was probably the only player that showed up. Even LeBron didn't play well to me. So, it's going to be interesting to see. My series prediction, I'm going to go Wolves in 6, dog.
Ooh.
Sticking with the young Bulls, man. Sticking with the young Bulls.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But the Lakers, they're not as good as advertised, man. Like I think that the way Ant has shown that he can run through the best of the best is something to applaud. Like we saw with KD, he's been handling KD all this season, all last season. He done said KD was his best player, his favorite player. So I think LeBron next on the docket. I think Luka next on the docket. LeBron, he has to figure out what works with Luka, and I think they'll figure out a little bit more of the offseason, but they're not gonna figure it out in the playoffs. Because if Luka having 30, 35 a game, that means LeBron not touching the rock that much, and LeBron is a ball dominant player. Like I looked at times where Luka was at the top of the key working, LeBron in the corner. Like, bro, you're too good to be in the corner. But at the same time, at this point in your career, are you better than the guy who's handling the rock? It's debatable. So
yeah,
I think they just got to figure out how to better be 1A and 1B instead of 1 and 2, because LeBron's not a number 2 option anywhere. But his age not gonna allow him to be number 1, the 1A no more.
And this is the first time LeBron ever been like basically the second option anyway. I mean, and what? How long LeBron been playing? What, 20 seasons?
20 years, 21 years.
21 years. So I mean, and you really can't really call him a 2 because he's more like a 1B, like you just said. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be very interesting to watch. When they play again tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
They play tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So definitely gonna keep our eyes glued to the TV on that game. All right, let's talk about the worst game that I watched. The Thunder put the Grizzlies.
Go get the damn gun, John. Nigga suck, man.
Oh man,
it ain't even him, man. It's the team.
The Thunder beat the Grizzlies, man. 131-80, man. Huh. This one was hard to watch. Really, I had kind of little faith in the Grizzlies playing a little bit better. But like I said, once again, they lack coaching. Just like we never talked about it, but Taylor Jenkins got fired right after Mike Malone.
When they were the second seed, or second or third seed.
Yeah. So it's really kind of like I expect the Thunder to win. Don't get me wrong. I expect the Thunder to win, but I expect the Grizzlies to put up a better fight. And maybe they played their worst game, of course, right? So I expect them to put up a little bit better fight next game, but I don't expect them to, win this series. I'm going Thunder in 5.
Yeah. I like Thunder in 4. Like,
you think they can get swept?
Yeah. Because
I'm not against that either. I'm not against that either. I promise you I'm not. Just because
my only thing is even if they did play their worst game, so did Shea. Shea didn't play.
He didn't have to do much. I mean,
exactly.
he didn't have to do
when he was trying to, it was like it won't fall in. And it's like he got to play at least 16, 20 more games through this postseason. That's probably gonna be his worst game all postseason.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was expecting him to go up there and give him 30, 40. But I mean, he didn't have to. You got Jay Williams playing good. You got Isaiah Joe coming off the bench, hitting threes. You got Wiggins. Yeah, Aaron Wiggins hitting threes. You got Chet hitting threes. Like they just poured it on them, man. And
with this, the Thunder could have scored 20 less points. The Grizzlies could have scored 20 more points. It still would have been a double-digit loss. Like this is over.
Yeah. Man, that game was over at the half, man. It was horrible.
They put their hand in their chest and ripped out their heart, man. They might as well go ahead and get ready to go on vacation. Then they talking about Ja got this lingering ankle injury. I can see he gonna try to go into overdrive the next couple of games and tweak it game 3, game 4, and that's gonna be it.
Man, I look at it like this. The Thunder gonna let them go ahead and let him go ahead and get that ankle injury addressed because they're gonna be done in 4 or 5. Yeah. I could see maybe the Grizzlies still in the game only just because that's just the logic of it, right? But That's probably the least series I like to watch, just because I already predicted the outcome of it. So,
100% agree.
yeah. So you said Thunder in 4, right?
Yep. Belt
Yeah,
tags.
I'm with you on that one. All right. The Celtics defeat the Magic 103-86. It's the Magic is another good team that I like, good young team. Paulo Banchero is probably my favorite young player out of all of them. I mean, he can shoot the three. He can put his back to the basket, all that. I mean, he has more to add to his game, but he even gave the Celtics 36. I'm not sure how many rebounds and assists he had, but I know he gave him 36. But the rest of those guys, they got to do their part. Do I feel like they could maybe steal a game? Absolutely. They come to play like they supposed to. I mean, they got to give Paulo that help, man, because he's gonna come and do what he needs to do. He's probably played, his worst game the play in. He had a bad game in the play in. But I feel like Boston. One thing about Boston, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Boston. They live and die by that three. So Boston, if you let them get up on that three, get up on you, it's gonna be hard to get back into the game, because that's what they live by. If you look at the games in the past where Boston has lost the leads, because they live and die by the three. When they start missing it, that's when the team start coming back on them. So you can't allow Boston to shoot that three, because most of the time, the guys that they have out there 1 through 5, they can shoot the three. You got Derek White, you got Brown, you got Tatum, you got Al out there, you got Porzingis out there. All of them can shoot the three. So you got to be aware of that, because that's what they do. That's their game. That's what they live by. So I don't know, what's your take on this series?
I love the Magic. I like them, but I don't like them. I don't love them enough now. I think in 2 to 3ish years, I think they will match up perfectly with the Celtics, because they have everything the Celtics have. They have the two-way guard and Suggs. They got the switch wings in Banchero and Wagner. You got Wendell Carter. He can stretch the floor. He's a tad bit on the side to play the 5, but nonetheless,
I think he's like 16.
Yeah, then you got Jonathan Isaac, who's helping out. He can be a defensive player of the year if he stays healthy, bro. Like, I think that the Magic are a very good team. I think every game in this series will be a low scoring game compared to the other series. Like, I think that out of all the games, I would be surprised for both of the teams to hit 100 points, unless they go to overtime. Like, either one team is not hitting it, neither of them are hitting it, or just something like that. So I think this will be a low scoring series, and a low scoring series, I think road team can still a win or two, because it's strictly defense. Like you said, the Celtics do live and die by the three, and the Magic can defend the three. The only thing the Celtics have over the Magic is discipline and coaching. Zula, hell of a coach, championship pedigree, and then discipline. The Magic foul at one of the highest rates in the league. The Celtics get to the line at one of the highest rates in the league. So those will be the difference in games. If the Magic have a couple of games where they're disciplined and the Celtics are not, or even if they can shut down the three, then they can get 1 or 2 games. But I don't think that's this year. But I do think in the next 3 years or so, give or take, they'll be coming out the East. But right now, I say Celtics is 5.
Yeah, they're my favorite team as far as like future wise, only just because I say they're a couple like bench players away, and maybe like another key piece in their starting 5. Like, I could see like maybe them adding somebody. If their front office is smart, I would add somebody to help out Paolo and Franz and Wendell Carter, because they're a good court. They got a good start right there, a good young team. So it's just, you kind of want to build on that. I mean, if the Magic front office are smart, they'll go get somebody like, I ain't gonna say like KD, because I don't know if KD will fit in good with the Magic, but maybe in the draft, or just find a player to fit in with that team, because I could see them maybe getting like another point guard or something like that, to play with them. They just need somebody to kind of like facilitate a little bit better because they don't have like a real facilitator. So
yeah, and they have a lot of money. You know, they're being a young team. They got a lot of guys on smaller contracts in comparison to a team like the Celtics. In the next couple of years, the Celtics are gonna have to make some decisions. They just got a new ownership. One of the facility that they play on, they don't have no ownership stake in it, and where the Celtics play. So that's gonna be a conversation. Like that Celtics team has about another 2-3 year window. After that, it's gonna get blown up.
Yeah, I could definitely, if they start to decline, I could see them maybe blowing some of that team up in Boston. But my series prediction, I'm going Celtics in 5.
Same here. Good.
Because them boys, they're gonna steal with that. Them boys, imagine they're gonna steal one game now. I'm telling you, they're gonna steal one. All right. The Cavs defeat the Heat 121-100. I watched this game as well. Miami, well, that's your team. So Miami, of course, really, I mean, they don't have enough for Cleveland. Cleveland is just, you know, they the number one team in the East. Miami, what were y'all, the 10th seed, right?
Yep.
10th seed. I mean, it's what I expect of them. Do I think the Heat can put up a decent fight? Yes. But I mean, I think Cleveland is just too much. They've been playing too well. I mean, you got Tyler Hero, you got Bam, but I think they're a piece away to, you know, maybe contending maybe for that first spot in the East in years to come. But my serious prediction: Cavs in 4.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I don't see y'all stealing one, man.
I think we'll get one, man, just because of our defense, a low scoring game. But we got Bam, Heroes trying to blossom a little bit, but every playoff team in the past 15 years outside of Dirk and the Magic, Dirk and the Mavericks, they've had at least 2-3 superstars. We don't have that. So we got Bam, who, you know, Olympic team, and he can really play the 3 to the 5. But we need something else. Hopefully, I ain't gonna say it, but I hope Giannis, you know, he really don't want to stay.
Giannis ain't going nowhere, man. Giannis ain't going nowhere.
You know, his contract.
I think y'all could get KD though. KD is definitely leaving Phoenix.
You think so?
I think y'all could get KD for sure.
I don't think it'll make that much of a difference though. Like, because KD has a better team now than. Well, I don't know. I mean, we better than the Suns.
You said he got a better man. We ain't gonna talk about them Suns. They definitely need to blow the whole team up. Just leave D-Book by itself, because that was just. I just think you can't just throw. Even though we're kind of getting off the topic, you can't just throw 3 people that can score on one team and think it's going to work. You got to build a team. You can't just put them all together and this thing is going to work. So, I mean, that's why coaches getting fired, GMs getting fired, just for, you know, not, you know, taking the actual process and going to find players and building the team. So,
I like when they had Chris Paul, Book, KD, and Ayton for like, I believe was it like 10 games they had them.
Yep.
Like, and they blew it up way too fast. Like, they were good.
Yeah, I think about it. They was just in the finals that year with Milwaukee. The year Milwaukee won it.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul, Book, Bridges, Ayton. I forgot who was playing the 4. Can't think of who was playing the 4 right now.
I think it was Jake Crowder.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So there's my point. Like, that was a decently built team. You got a veteran facilitating. You got Book, you know, that's your superstar. That's your, you know, your main piece right there. You got Mikal Bridges, a young Mikal Bridges, trying to find his way in the NBA. So, I mean, that team right there was just good. Then you got your big man, Ayton. Ayton was one of the top big men in the league at the time. I mean, he still is, but he's on a worse team now. So he's not really, you know, be able to use his abilities as he should. But like I said, I really think they're gonna blow that team up in Phoenix.
Likewise.
Yeah. All right, the Warriors defeat the Rockets 95-85. I watched this game as well. I remember you said the Rockets aren't gonna put up much of a fight. To be honest, I really think the Rockets may steal a game. When I watched the game, of course, Steph's gonna do what he needs to do. I think Steph had like 30, 36 or something like that. Jimmy Butler was playing well. Pods was playing well. But the Rockets, they need Jalen Green to be what he needs to be. I mean, Jalen Green is supposed to be one of the best players on the team, and he had like 5 points, I think, in like the third quarter. You know, you're not going to beat a team like Golden State just because how good they play together with 5 points. Your best player having 5 points. They got a good, like I said, Houston has a good team. They got Şengün. Şengün can shoot the ball. He's like a baby Jokic. I mean, that's a good. I ain't gonna say he is Jokic. He's kind of like similar to his game on the way he plays. I just really think they got to have, like I said, this is another team right here where the role players need to step up. Everybody needs to play their role. They got a young Amen Thompson. They got Jabari Smith Jr. They got Van Fleet. They got Van Fleet. Van Fleet can pass the ball pretty well. I think he was he was at the top of assists for the past couple of years with them. Everybody's got to play their role. If they want to kind of like give Golden State a run for their money, they got to play their role. And then everybody just got to, like I said, be that person that the team needs them to be. They are coached really well. Who's that? Ain't it Boston old coach?
Yeah, the one who cheated on Nia Long, fucking dummy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that coach, he's a good coach though. I'm not gonna lie.
He's a good coach.
But like I said, they gotta have more out of their stars. Jalen Green, Şengün's just gotta play a little bit better. I mean, but the Warriors, I expect the Warriors to win that in 5.
Yeah, I feel empathetic for Houston, and I'm saying this because they have a good team, but they don't have a great team. Like they have a bunch of second options, a lot of second options. Jalen Green is a good second option. Van Fleet has shown he can be a second option on the championship team. Sengun, like, did you see that dunk on Draymond?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. He's a good second option. And even then, you got other guys like
Draymond bumped his ass.
Yeah, then you got Dylan Brooks, he talking, drawing it up. Amen Thompson, he's scrapping up on defense. Like they have a good team, but they don't have that guy. All right, who when the time is 2 minutes to go and we in a 5-point game, who we gonna get a ball to? They don't have that guy. And that's going to hurt them, I think, in this series and probably any series beyond it. Like, they're not there yet. And for their management team, they have to decide, do we want to get rid of one of these or even 2 of these pieces or to get a superstar, or do we just want to ride it out and see what happens? Like, they in a real tough spot right now.
I think Jalen Green was supposed to be the guy, but he's just not consistent enough. Can he give you 30, 25, 30? Yeah, he can give it, but it's just not a consistent basis. So that's why he hasn't risen to that star that he's supposed to be. I don't know if Drea just, got his mind just going crazy. I don't know if he's just not that player they think he is, but he was I guess they was dependent on him. But apparently he hasn't risen to that occasion yet. So
yeah, I think too, like he could use a better facilitator. It doesn't have to be from the point guard spot. It could be a point forward. I just think he needs another guy to get him the ball in his spots for him to kind of blossom up a little bit more to his max potential, because he's not a bad player by any long shot. He just streaks the L like he like J.R. Smith, So, but I like the Warriors in 6. Like, again, feel for Houston, but They Warriors took game 1 already in Houston. They got to play game 6 and go to State. I don't think Houston, if they make it a game 6 and go to State, which I think they will, because I don't think Warriors will get a sweep, and I do think the Rockets will at least win 1 or 2 games. They ain't getting it out of Golden State, They not getting out of that. So I got Warriors in 6.
What be doing? Jalen Green, Lime Green. Man, for real though, man. That's been one of my favorites, of course, because Golden State has been my sleeper team. But I don't see Houston getting past them, man.
Yeah, me neither, bro.
All right, T-Bone, let's go on to our next topic. We had a tragedy this past week. Former LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy passed away at the age of 24. Before we go into it, we want to make sure we give that young man a moment of silence. My heart goes out to his family, especially his mom and his dad. He had his future set out for him, and just bad decisions just kind of crushed his life. And I really think that might have had played a big part in him taking his own life. Really is something you don't really want to put too much emphasis on, because you don't really know like what he was thinking in his head. But nobody wants to take on what he was about to take on, because he took his own life right before he was about to go before the grand jury. I think he's supposed to go before the grand jury like a day or two before he did that. So it's really a hard thing to talk about, because you got to think about it. In his head, he's thinking he's about to go to the NFL. He's probably planning on, what team's going to take me. And this happened, now I think he got his NFL draft invite, revoked or something like that. He didn't get invited to the draft anymore. Not the draft, the combine, excuse me. So like I think it's just too much for him, with the case going on. Him probably not going to get it. Things probably not leaning towards his way, and he just took his own life.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. In the instance of mental health, like mental health is serious. And everybody deal with it differently. I think he was the stress and pressure that he probably was facing was immense. I couldn't imagine basically being a coin flip between getting acquitted for 10, 15 years in federal prison or going and being day 1, day 2 pick in the NFL draft. Like those are two very different roles. And it wasn't like with a situation like Henry Ruggs, where Henry Ruggs was already in the league, got a very short sentence, and might actually have time to come back and play. He was on Lacy was looking at 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years at age 24. That's just crazy. Like his football career would be over. So like I say, condolences out to him. Condolences out to the family that was a victim of the car crash. Just prayers out to everybody.
Absolutely, because when you're an athlete of that, that stature, you become like, what's the word? You think stuff that happen to regular people won't happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's kind of like you kind of bring yourself to reality of don't think that it can't happen to you, because it can. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to TD and Bone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kind of be conscious of yourself and your future. But my heart just goes out to his family, and of course to the victim of the car crash. It's just a sad thing, T-Bone. When I seen it came out, I was like, dang, like you never really know what's going on in a person's head. A lot of people, I could have stuff beating me up, you could have stuff beating you up, but you may not tell me about it. We get on here, we talk, we talk sports, we laugh, but people are fighting stuff on the inside every day.
Every day.
So that's why it's always, I want to say this: people, make sure you check on your loved ones. When they're going through something, people start acting weird, call them, check on them, because everybody's mental is not, good every day. I'm not good every day. T-Bone's not good every day. So if I figure out something, I feel something wrong with T-Bone not acting the same, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm gonna call you. You got to do that though for some people, because you never know what people are fighting off every day. People are battling stuff in their own head every day. And this situation here is just unfortunate, and it's just, it's just a damn, what could have been, so all right. We got another tragedy. Florida State University had a mass shooting. 2 students were killed, 6 were injured. We're gonna do another moment of silence for those 2 students that were killed at this moment. When I seen this happen, I thought about being somebody that's went off to college. Your parents are sending you off to get an education, whether you're going there to play sports, whether you're going there to be in the band, you're going there to, join fraternities, sororities. The main thing is get an education. This are the stuff that you don't, you try not to worry about of happening. Here's another thing where you like, dang, I wonder if that could happen at my school. It can. It can happen at Livingstone College. It can happen at Winston-Salem State. My heart goes out to the families that the 2 students were killed and were injured, because you got to think about it. You got to imagine yourself being a father or a mother, getting that call, your son, it's been a shooting at our university. We think that your daughter or son may be injured. When you get a call like that, that's probably one of the worst calls you ever, once you hear those words, probably might be the worst thing that happened to you in your life. Because when people send their kids off to college, they're trying to, better them for their future. And those are the last things that you have on your mind until it happens.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like, I was blessed to go to college for 6 years, 4 from my 7 State, North Carolina Central, and never have any incident where I really felt like I was in danger. Like, of course, there was shootings on campus, people breaking in cars, just random stuff like that. But I can honestly say, from being away from home, I stayed in the same half acre of land for 18 years before I went to college, and not once did I ever feel really, really unsafe or like in a traumatic situation. So I know with those kids being between the ages of 17 and 21, 22, like, just feel bad for them. I do think there needs to be, from a mission perspective, like a stricter kind of vetting process for students who are admitting into college, because reports came out that the guy was he was like fascinated with like Hitler and like the Nazis and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm not saying or assuming anything. I'm just saying, objectives that were reported. So it's just like, if you can't prevent everything, but there are more proactive measures, but at the same time, you don't think things like this are ever going to happen where you're at, whether that's a school, a grocery store, anything. So, just hope that they figure it out, and that the campus, they try to offer good support for the students in and around the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Because stuff like this happens. This is kind of like the stuff that keeps people from going to college. Parents sending their kids to college, like with stuff happening. That's why, just like the planes going down. A lot of people don't want to fly. Mass shootings happen at schools. A lot of people don't want to send their kids off to college. fearing that they may not return home on that Christmas break or on that weekend when they come home or whenever, they're, appointed to come home. But like I said, the We the Ones podcast family, we definitely send our condolences out there to the families and Florida State University. And we hope that they, take the right action and get people the help that they need, get what they need for the university to kind of prevent stuff like this. And we just wish them all the best.
Show that.
All right. Moving on. So we seen the did you see the what's the guy name from what's it? Tennessee's quarterback? What's his name? Nico.
Yeah, Nico. Yep.
I can't say his last name. But anyway, we seen the reports where he didn't report to practice all week. So the coach was just like, okay, cool. You're no longer part of the team. And it's only because of how much money he was getting. He was worried about how much money somebody else was getting. I think it was like $4 million he was seeking. I feel like NIL was a great thing, but it's got its cons just like everything else. The reason why is just because of, once you start adding money to, stuff, Lord, people supposed to be going to just get an education. I mean, that's the main thing. Like I said, college is about education. But you got people coming here that's never seen this kind of money. Nobody, never seen this kind of money coming in. And you got kids in here that may not go to that next level. So they're trying to get that bag now.
Mm-hmm.
What if I don't make it to the NFL? What if I don't make it to the NBA, WNBA, whatever it may be, MLB? So I feel like now it's more important for those kids coming out of high school to, go ahead and get their bag. So they making it more of the importance, because what if they don't make it to that next level? What if they get hurt? Something may, God's willing.
My whole thing with NIL, I'm a big fan of NIL. Young men, young women need to get paid, and it'll help prolong their career as players, or just prolong and serve as a catalyst for their lifestyle. I never played collegiate sport, so I'm not speaking from a place of bias or anything, but I also think it's on the NCAA and other institutional committees, in addition to the schools in itself, to not take advantage of it. Like, I think some of these schools, they know, hey, we can offer this guy, we can lowball this guy, and we can give this guy more, and then put him on the field. We're gonna go with the guy we lowball and not do anything about it after. Like, I do think it needs to be maybe an annual appraisal process. Like, if you have a guy and he came in as a third screen as a D1 school, year 2, he's second screen, year 3, he a junior. All right, you starting this year. You can't expect him to be satisfied with the same amount of money he was getting in year 1. It's like if I worked the job and I didn't get a raise in 2 years, I might feel a little type of way too. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So especially if I know I'm getting better and I'm perfecting my craft, I do think that the NIL, it affects their mindsets, of course. I do think you have family members who don't even know what an NIL is, who are just putting their 2 cents in it and being, of course, influential to these guys that are, again, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. So I just think, like, overall, NIL is good, but it's new, so it's gonna have some kinks. From a consumer or viewer perspective, I think one thing that I really want to see is how NIL affects the depth of other institutions, because it's a lot of colleges and schools out there. But as we just seen with the NCAA tournament, schools with the most money, they end up making it to the Final Four. All the number 1 seeds, Duke, Florida, Houston, Auburn, those are big money schools. Yeah. And, I mean, favorites won almost every game in the tournament, more than the highest rate since 2012, 2013. This was the first time 4 number 1s made the Final Four since what 07 or something like that. So
Yeah.
I just think that NIL is good, but it has its kinks, and other incentives need to be made to, make the talent pool deep while also getting everybody the money they deserve consistently.
I just feel like these schools and the NCAA need to, prepare themselves for what I mean, they just need to prepare themselves just because you gotta think about it. A lot of these kids are feeding their families at home off this
Mm-hmm.
money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, whether I don't think it's too much you can buy between two. I don't think it's much more you can buy with 4 million that you can't buy with 2 million.
Of
But
course.
like I'm saying, is they getting their first chance at getting this kind of money ever in their life. So they're gonna make sure that they secure that bag, like I said. I mean, that's just I understand it. I understand, like, they're trying to get them because they're making it like, the pros now almost just now. And
Yeah.
I could see in years to come, you know, kids getting like 10, 15 million in college because it's only gonna go up.
And you have guys, they are pros for the level that they're on. Like at a certain age, you're only going to play against your peers in your age group or your age range. And it's like if these are guys, I'm gonna just say the SEC, for example. The SEC has been a powerhouse of college football, arguably college basketball for the past 20 years. Like these guys are playing against other guys that are the best at what they do at their age group. And if they go into the pros, they continue to do it in the pros. So they don't need to be as luxurious as a rookie deal or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it definitely needs to be something really worth having. Like I think 500K for some of these guys in comparison to what the school is making off them with jersey sales, people coming to see them is crumbs. Like,
Yeah, it's not enough. Not
yeah,
enough.
it's crumbs. Like if you have, I'm gonna say a guy, I don't know, man, Jalen Milroe from Alabama, quarterback from Alabama. You know how many two jerseys he probably sold from himself? His name, image, and likely sold in the bookstore and stuff like that, and from people in campus and out of campus. Let's say each jersey going for 100 a pop, and 500 people buy those jerseys. Like you up right there, and that's very, very conservative. So it's just you got to
Just
see what happens.
just imagine if NIL was around when people like your Patrick Mahomes was in college. Your Tom Brady's. Brady wasn't that big of a player back then, but in
Reggie
college,
Bush,
Reggie Bush. Who else? Your Cam Newtons, your Tim
Baker
Tebow.
Mayfield, shit, like
Yeah, your Tebows, Mark Ingram, Lamar Jackson. Think about what NIL would look like all the way back then until now. If they had NIL all the way back then, these guys would be having like 50 million in college. So because that's what it's gonna end up coming to sooner or later. Years to come, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. They're gonna keep giving them more and more and more. It's just like back in the day when professional players wasn't playing, paid as much. So that they're gonna have to, ump the ante.
yeah.
Especially if they want the big players.
My only thing is I hope it don't pass down. That price don't roll down to the average fan. Like I'm cool paying 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 for a ticket, but if you're talking about paying a guy and I got to pay the guy and my ticket go from $75 to $150,
Yeah,
it's kind of like I ain't making
yeah,
that much difference. You feel me?
yeah,
Yeah, so we'll
yeah,
have to see how they handle it, but they in the positions to make their decisions. So it come with their rolling job.
yeah. All right. This is our last topic right here. All right. Shannon Sharp could be facing a lawsuit for $50 million for sexual assault allegations. When it first, I think you sent it to me. When I first seen it, right? I was like, damn, I hate that for but he's got a good team around him, instructing him what to do. Of course, now that I've seen, I think the text messages were dropped and all that stuff. Reading about the situation, getting the details, I think that the situation was consensual. It's not like nothing we'd ever haven't seen before.
Right.
I mean, we've seen this before with who was it back in the day?
They just tried to get Drewski about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Drewski. Well, I'm talking pertaining to like athletes. Remember that time Kobe got hit up.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Was it Tiger? Didn't Tiger did something? No, it was something with his wife. No, yeah.
Yeah, Tiger was tripping.
Yeah, Tiger. But he was in the wrong then at that point. But I really feel like Shannon, some stuff could be true. We could be looking on the inside out, from the outside in, actually. But I think that it was consensual. Reading all them text messages.
Oh, what was your favorite text, bro?
That one about the dog collar.
He say 25,000 for each cheek. I said, damn, she's cheek. You get 40 and that's it.
Yeah, 25,000.
That's crazy. But Shannon State for 50 million, he'll go to hell. So he might need to make some decisions. You know what I'm saying? That lady with that lawsuit, man. He might not be in the best position. You might need to call on Uncle Shay, give him a mental health checkup.
Oh man,
it's a lot of money. I don't care who you is. But he'll be all right though, man. He got a good team around him. They've been on it because I seen the report early this morning, a little bit before noon, and I seen results from his team. I think a little before 5, so about a 6-hour window. So they're on it. I think it might just be another situation of upset partner, trying to
because what I've seen something about when the live video that was somebody else other than this lady. So I think like that's when stuff like kind of like transpired and started getting going the other way. But if anybody knows me, they know I'm a huge fan of so I really, really hope that he doesn't get hit with it. But of course we're gonna let the lawmakers and stuff, do their job. His teams, like I said, they're gonna do their job of what they need to do. But we definitely, wish them the best as well, of course.
Show that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, T-Bone. It's time for Q&A.
Talk to me. See what we got.
Okay.
Appreciate everybody for, giving some insight into this.
Okay. Simone says, all-time favorite sport moment. My all-time favorite sport moment was when the Braves won the World Series in 2021. If anybody knows me, I'm a huge Brave fan. But and it's a deeper story behind it because I have an aunt that passed all the way back in 2019. And she the one showed me the Braves. If anybody know my aunt, Alice Faye Davis, they knew how much of a big Braves fan. Coming to the house that I grew up in, the Braves game was always on, because that's what all I knew. So that's why I didn't know about no Yankees, no Dodgers. I always knew about the Braves. She had been a Braves fan probably all of her life. So really, them winning that World Series right after she passed, it was kind of like a bittersweet moment for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got you. I would say my favorite sports moment, just to kind of follow you with Packers fan, love to see when they won back in 2010. Aaron Rodgers doing his thing.
2010.
Yeah. A little bit a little bit ancient, but we did it.
I remember that. I remember that though, bro.
And that was kind of the first team I really latched on to and kind of put me in this rabbit hole of loving sports. That would be my favorite. If I had to say something like funny or something like that, I would probably say, Adrian Broner, the boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with him, he fought Medina and was talking shit after the post conference. That's probably the most I ever laughed at any kind of sports. So
Yeah.
that's definitely like one of the my funniest sports moment. Like I still watch that video probably like once every couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right. 10K says, who do you guys have winning the NBA Finals? Me personally, I think Boston could repeat if they do what they need to do. I think that I don't know why, but I just feel like Golden State could sneak in the finals. But if I had to choose one team, I'm gonna stick with Boston just because of I don't think Cleveland can really mess with Boston for real. So who you got?
I like the Clippers.
The Clippers? Ooh, that's a good one.
I think their road is. I think whoever comes out the West is going to win. It's because they face hard talent, and I think honestly the Clippers may have while most difficult is probably the easiest path, maybe outside of Golden State. But I think they're the most well-rounded team. I think they have the superstar in Kawhi, good supporting cast, and again, they'll be battle tested. Like if you can beat the Joker, you'll be good. I have this weird thing: whoever wins MVP never makes the finals. Never.
Yeah.
It just don't seem like it. And Shea, if he win MVP, he's not gonna make the finals. So who they gonna play? The Clippers. I think the Clippers can beat the Thunder. And at that point, Lakers, Minnesota, Houston, Golden State. I think they can beat every one of those teams in a 7-game series. And if they face the Celtics or the Cavaliers up in the East or the Knicks, I think they could beat them too. So I like the Clippers. I think they'll win the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whoever comes out that West, because we already know. I already feel like Boston's coming out the East anyway. I don't really see nobody really stopping them. I could definitely see them, going back, but it's all depending on who their opponent is going to be. And I would love to see a Clippers Boston NBA Finals because it's just going to be such a good matchup because nobody's expecting that matchup.
And people always say like Boston and the Lakers, yeah, LA the spot, but you got the wrong team. You feel me?
Yeah.
They'll sell just as much with it being Clippers versus the Lakers.
I wouldn't be surprised at that one either, though.
Yeah.
Boston and Lakers. Yeah. All right. John says, how do y'all feel about the Mike Budenholzer asking Bradley Beal to be the Drew Holiday of the Suns? I feel like, like I said, you can't throw 3 players on a team that can score. Bradley Beal's never been like the Drew Holiday. He's not as much of a good of a defender. If you go back and look at him in Washington, he was their first option. Once John Wall went away, Bradley Beal was there another 6-7 years after John Wall left. So that's just not who he is. Maybe he might have took it the wrong way. Maybe he was asking him to facilitate more. I'm not really sure, but it's really more of like, you want to put your player in the best way for him to be successful. And I feel like with him asking him that, he's asking him to do something he's not, he's never done. Bradley Beal's just not a facilitator. He's a scorer. So I feel like you should set your player up, the best way to be successful, and that's not it.
Yeah, I think as a coach, your job is to fit your system around your players, not have your players fit your system.
Yeah.
I think by him asking him to say play like Drew Holiday, that means, at least in my opinion, play more defense, pass the ball more, take less shots. That don't even sound like Bradley Beal. So I just think that's crazy.
You got to just remember like who Bradley Beal is. I mean, you know, if you just like I said, if you go back to his years in Washington, you know that's not his game. Drew Holiday is more of a facilitator, more of a defensive guy. You know, get you a couple steals. He can shoot the three. But he's Drew Holiday and Bradley Beal. Then you know, Drew Holiday can't do what Bradley Beal can do. Bradley Beal can't do what Drew Holiday do.
Yeah, they're not the same player at all.
Yeah. Delton says, if LeBron gets a ring this year, is he considered the GOAT? Well, I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest. LeBron is whether he gets a ring this year or not, LeBron is already considered basically the GOAT. I mean, he's the NBA, the all-time leading scorer while still actively playing. So, I mean, and LeBron could maybe, you know, go for maybe like another year or two, you know, still in his, I mean, he take care of his body. I feel like he could maybe go 2 or 3 for real. But I mean, would he be considered the GOAT? He's already kind of considered the GOAT. So whether he get a ring or not, I don't think that really, you know, matters or not.
LeBron the GOAT. Next question.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. What LeBron has done, I mean, over the years, I mean, you've never seen nothing like him before. You know,
it's like, yeah, he went to 10 finals, lost more than he won. But who has went to 10 finals?
nobody.
And I believe 8 of them was consecutive. Like, that's legendary in itself. That shows for we're gonna say half of your career basically that you've been a top 10, you've been on a top 2 team, you've been leading a top 2 team. Like that's good, man. Like, I don't think there's anything else he could do to make his case more hard than what it is. He's, as of now, 99.9% chance of making it to the Hall of Fame, with the 0.01 being if he go do some crazy shit off the court. But on the court, he gonna make the Hall of Fame. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
LeBron to go right now.
it's more of like you said, you gotta think about the stuff he's done off the court. He's never been in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, he's always been married, always been a one-woman man. He's just kind of like that model athlete that you want to follow. People hate him. People hate on him. People hate on him, but a lot of people love him. I mean, I'm not, you know, like the biggest LeBron fan, but I respect him just because of what he's done over the years. So, like I say, Delton, LeBron is already to go.
Yeah,
We just gonna move on to that. Delton also says this kind of, I guess this is kind of pertain to me. The Cowboys have 10 picks in this year's draft. Do you think they can fill all gaps? Hell no. And I say that as a Cowboys fan.
It's crazy.
Do I think we could address some positions? Absolutely, but not with all 10 picks. I mean, I say fill the gap. You probably can fill the gaps and maybe a couple gaps, maybe with the first 3 picks. After that, I mean, unless you got somebody, you find a diamond in the rough or something like that. Most of those guys, like the 5th, 6th rounders, those guys are going to be like, you know, depth chart guys, practice squad guys. You know, some may not even make the team. But do I think we can fill some gaps? Absolutely. Like I said, I think wide receiver is our biggest need. As far as like a number 2 option to CeeDee Lamb. But and running back, absolutely. Wide receiver and running back are 2 that we need, absolutely.
Let me ask you this, just because I don't know, and I'm hoping you know. Do you know where Deebo Samuel is, or did he go somewhere? I remember he was supposed to be.
He went to Washington.
Washington, okay.
Yeah,
because he would definitely fill a lot of y'all gaps. But shit, y'all got to play him. Because he played running back and he played wide receiver. He had a number 2 wide receiver at this point in his career. He's not a number 1, so
I wouldn't have been mad at getting Deebo. I would have loved that.
He would have filled 2 spots at once, you know.
Yeah. But good question though, Delton. But hell no. We're not gonna fill all our gaps. We got to do something in free agency. Do some stuff that we haven't done before. Fill some gaps in free agency. Make some trades. Let's see what else we got. Raven says, "Who do y'all think has the chance at making it to the next Super Bowl?" I mean, Kansas City is definitely going to be in that mix. I think Baltimore is going to be in that mix. Buffalo. I don't know what it is with Buffalo because every time they get close, they get like this close, and just like the freakish play that's happened. You got to think about that year where they went to overtime with Kansas City. Just this past year with Kansas City. I don't know what it is with Buffalo, but Buffalo definitely gonna be in that mix. Maybe they can, get past that, the AFC championship game this year. In the NFC, I mean, of course, you got. I ain't saying Dallas, not right now. Who's a heavy hitter? Oh, you got Detroit. I think Detroit has a chance, just because of how they got their team put together. Who else? I'm not gonna. Washington could sneak in there. I don't know. Washington isn't gonna. To me, I don't think Washington gonna be that good next year. I think we're gonna be better than them next year.
I think they just had a real good year. Then in comparison, y'all had a real bad year.
Yeah, we just had a horrible year. I feel like we're gonna, if not finish first, but second in our division. But Philly, of course, you're gonna add them in there because they just won it, of course. But if I had to put together a matchup, I would say, Baltimore and Philly.
Baltimore, Philly, cool. I really think, I know I'm a Packer fan, but I really think we got a legit chance at the NFC. Like,
Why I knew you was about to say that. Come on, bro.
Hit me out.
Okay.
We got the best young team in the league, and we only gonna get better. We've been in the playoffs.
Need to get some more receivers, man.
Yeah, I think that too, but I also think we got time for them to develop a little bit. And as Jordan Love get better, receivers get better. Shit, who knows? We might have two number ones like the Bengals in a little bit. You never know.
I can say, add to what you just said. I feel like Jordan Love didn't have the year that he thought he was gonna have. He played excellent. Y'all put an ass whooping on us in the playoffs 2 years ago, and that one that just left me in shambles. But I'll respect the Jordan Love, even though I don't like y'all Green Bay Packers. I'll respect the Jordan Love. He is definitely a good young quarterback in the league. I just feel like the Packers should definitely put the good pieces by him to take that next step. And I mean, who knows? NFL is definitely after this, how this draft play out. The NFL is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I think for the AFC, I'm really a big fan of the Texans. Like, I really like the Texans. I think the division is theirs to lose. They got? Colts, Jaguars, and I think the Titans.
Yep.
Like, I'd be surprised if any of them teams have 10 wins, while the Texans have 10 or more. So I think that's the division for them to win. And if they can secure maybe a second seed in the AFC, they can make a legit run. I don't see why they couldn't. Like, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs are, of course, the three-headed monsters, but they're all in different divisions, and that last division up for grabs with the Texans. And even then, I think with the Chiefs, I think the Broncos are right on their heels. The AFC North, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Ravens, and of course the Browns. I mean, that division, you never know who's gonna win it. I don't see the Bills not winning their division. So but I like the Texans. If I had to pick a sleeper, if I had to do a Super Bowl matchup, I would like to see Texans and Packers. I think that would be a good Super Bowl match. I think that would be something different. But if I'm being 100% realistic, like strictly realistic, I'll probably say Bills and Eagles or something like that.
Bills, Eagles.
But
Yeah.
I don't think the Packers are too far behind. The Lions, even though the 49ers and Cowboys had an off year, I don't think either of those two teams are too far behind. I think the Bucks are sleepy, scary. I think the Panthers are on the ups and ups. They can play spoiler if they can make the playoffs. The Skins as well. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Just because of that, the NFC South is such a toss up right now. Because I mean, of course, the Bucks are really basically the best team in there right now. New Orleans with their quarterback situation, we're not sure what they're going to do. Of course, we'll see on draft night what they're going to do to address that position with Derek Carr with his shoulder issue. You got the Panthers. The Panthers. I don't really have nothing against the Panthers. The Panthers are always, they almost beat Philly, and Philly
They
just won the
almost beat
championship.
Kansas City.
Yep, they almost beat Kansas City. I just feel like Bryce Young is starting to, be that player that they expected him to be. Because one thing a player with that team like that, I think he had lost his confidence. At one point, and he gained it back at the right time. So maybe with a full off season, he may be better.
Yeah, and he only gonna get better. So mentally and physically.
Yeah. Imani says, which sport do y'all think takes the most mental strength to play? Ooh, that's a good one.
I'll jump in if you want to.
Huh?
I'll jump in real quick. Baseball.
Definitely. I was just about to say that.
I think mentally, baseball and boxing are a tie for me. I'm saying boxing because you could bust your ass in training camp leading up to the fight. You got to cut weight. Some boxers lose 20 pounds in the span of a couple weeks. So you got to do stuff like that. And when you walk in that ring, you in that square, everything you work for is trying to get crushed by another man. No man is taking in boxing. You got to kill another man's dream to live yours. So I think boxing is definitely a strong mental sport, and I think baseball, skill wise, is the hardest. I know that's not as mental, but I'm saying skill because if you feel like you're underskilled or inadequate at something, it can crush you mentally, knowing you've been working to try for it. Like in baseball, you can hit the ball 3 out of 10 times and be considered good or great. So boxing and baseball is a tie for me.
Oh, I say baseball definitely. Having me playing the sport, I understand that how a mental breakdown can really change, how the rest of your game plays. Baseball is a game of short memory. Just because you strike out, you gotta go back out here in the field and make a play. With you thinking about how you just struck out, you want to keep that mental short because you want to make sure you put your team in the best situation, make that play for your team. As far as football, I would say it mentally it depends on mentally you just gotta be, have that mind of the eye of the tiger to play football anyway. I say it depends on the position. Like a position maybe like DB or something like that. They got to have short memory. Yeah, you just got burnt for that touchdown, that 70-yard touchdown, but hey, we back on defense. You got to make this stop now. So I would really say most of them, all sports, you got to have some kind of mental. But I say the most baseball, of course, just because of like how much of the baseball is a game where you can, if you keep that mental strong, you can change the game. Y'all may be down 10 runs, but at the couple cracks of the bat, it can be 8-10. So baseball. I was always told, a baseball game is never over, just because of how much you can change. When a team is down 42-0 in a football game, that game's over. A team down 5-0 in a baseball game, it can change all in one ended. Right?
Yeah, that's why I don't bet on baseball no more. That's exactly all middle baseball. You know, I bet and stuff. It's about to be a quiet summer for me.
Yeah.
Baseball is not. Baseball
WNBA, man. WNBA.
Yeah, I'm rocking with WNBA for sure.
Yeah. But good question, Imani. All right. That wraps up this episode of We the Ones podcast. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. Please, ma'am, please, sir, hit that subscribe button, like button, and leave us a comment. We appreciate all the love and support. Stay tuned. We're gonna have a live show going on for the NFL draft. So please stay tuned on Thursday and come hang out with us. T-Bone, if you got anything you want to say?
I do want something to say. Thursday for the draft show, every NFL team has their pick as of now. So that's gonna make for good. That's gonna make for a good way to landscape the league. I think whoever has the best draft in this year will improve the most as a team.
Yeah. I feel like after the draft, we're going to be able to talk more about NFL just because we don't know what teams are going to do and what teams are going to make. I feel like there's going to be some trades made in the draft for real. Like, I feel like some players may get moved in the draft. So I don't know.
We'll see.
But please stay tuned. Come hang out with us Thursday night. All right. We gone.